Welcome back, everyone, to the OS World Cup 2020. Round of 32 continues now with Sweden and Indonesia. I am back on cast for this one. I am Doomsday, but joining me in the lobby this time is the lovely Chilia Pair. What's going on, mate?
Good morning, Doomsday. Good morning. It is currently 9 a.m. for a very exciting match coming off of the late match last night with Canada's win. So glad to be back.
Yeah, bright and early for this time. I say it's not much turnaround for you after casting that one.
Just kind of you kind of roll out, and we're gonna get ready for a fun one here. This is gonna be close. We have two very decent teams here, especially out of qualifiers if we look at scores. But these players, some big talent here on both sides.
Yeah, Sweden and Indonesia have been putting together a very tidy squad over the last few years, for sure. Two teams really on the up, meeting in a very early stage. So how's the cool doing? How's the nerves doing? Because this one, on paper, should be very, very close, because both teams have very accomplished players this year.
Yeah, we have a very interesting. So Sweden has been one of those teams that has just continuously improved over the past couple of years. I think, every maybe 1 year they've probably improved their qualifiers seeding spot by 2 or 3 places, and they got their highest spot this year. Indonesia has been one of those teams that is kind of floated around qualifiers a little bit. They're either really high or they kind of drop a little bit, or they remain the same. This year, a lot of big ranks on Team Indonesia, and I think the thing Sweden needs to be scared of is the fact that with those big ranks combined with a couple new players, it brings a lot of early round consistency that Sweden is going to have to recover from a little bit from qualifiers this year, because they definitely need to be pulling out some insane scores on these maps. We've seen a lot of teams, 3 and 4 FCs almost on a lot of these maps.
Yeah, the thing with this round is you can have teams with super highly ranked players, but you need that backbone to really carry you through this round. Otherwise, you have the threat of that big upset. I mean, we saw South Korea very nearly drop down at the hands of Ukraine. So we see how easily even the biggest teams can drop to that hurdle. So no doubt we don't want to lose early on before those big players can really flex when the maps get harder.
And there we are into the lobby. Here's all the players, 4 starting lineups at least here. And we're going to get into the roles. Let's see who gets their selection of pick or ban today. There's all the maps up on the board. Once again, there are no warm-ups. And we will be getting right into the picks and bans. Saika almost got me with that Couch Rolls 100. That's how you can tell we're really rolling this morning.
No one rolls 100.
Nobody ever.
It's just a figment of your imagination whenever anyone rolls anything above the 50, mate.
I can only hope. The hopes and dreams are only there. But Sweden does end up winning the roll with Coach at a 57 compared to Skydiver's 33. So Sweden will get their choice of first or second pick, and then subsequently first or second ban. They'll be taking the second pick today. I guess they're going to prefer that first ban over the pick there. Maybe they're confident that they can wait on what they need for a pick and see what Indonesia decides to go with. I guess that does make a little bit of sense. Indonesia is a little bit more of an unknown, so their team is decently new in terms of players, so they're probably just going to test the waters to see what Indonesia is going to roll with today.
Yeah, and also that second pick does mean that in the event of this match going all the way, that will give Sweden the last pick before a tiebreaker, which can be a good mental edge if things get tight, which I imagine Sweden are not expecting to sweep this.
Yeah, no, I certainly wouldn't come into this match expecting to sweep with either of these teams. There is so much early round ability and consistency with all of their players on both teams that this I imagine is going to go back and forth pretty heavily if all goes to plan for both of these teams here. Indonesia is going to take the first ban, actually, so they're gonna be getting first pick and first ban. Indonesia really gonna take early control of this match here, but I guess that's something that Sweden didn't really mind when they went for the second pick today. But we'll see how that works out for them in the long run. Indonesia is going to come out with their first ban. I'm not entirely sure what you ban against Sweden. I don't think a lot of their skill sets are collected into one particular mod group. Looks like Indonesia is going to end up banning the Hard Rock 2, maybe out of fear of Reedcat's ability to just push through maps like that. And of course, Sweden going to ban the DT against Indonesia. A very smart decision for them. Indonesia being an insanely good speed team this year, along with a lot of others. So some good bans at the beginning. I can definitely see where both of them are coming from, but a lot to worry about.
Yeah, I think those bans are pretty sensible given the teams involved. Sweden do have a pretty decent Hard Rock roster, and yeah, no doubt Reedcat on those sort of maps can generally FC on command. Targeting the DT against Indonesia is very sensible, considering their roster is going to be pretty scary when it comes to those higher approach rate double times. I think they can hold their own on the lower approach rate and the slower ones though, but yeah, Shiori is gone. No AR 8.8 DT.
Yeah, they're going to have to put up some good scores all around on a lot of these maps to make sure that they're ready for that. I think something we do have to mention is Sweden, they were really good at DT in qualifiers. So good at DT, in fact, that I believe they beat Indonesia at DT1. They were one of the highest scoring teams on that map. So there is a decent amount of DT showings there for them. I'm not entirely sure where the aim and the consistency lies between these two teams here today, because I think a lot of those were very contested, and I think knowing a lot of these players from community tournaments, the consistency goes back and forth a lot of the time. I think the no mod 1 this round is a decent bit harder than qualifiers, so I'm not entirely sure we can compare it perfectly. And the no mod 2 with some of those streams at the end, and then of course you have the free mods, which are good if you have the right mod players, but both of these teams, I'm not entirely sure what they would run with in terms of a free mod. Again, their skill sets aren't really grouped into one category, so they have to kind of spread it out a little bit.
I say at this level, it's hard to really call, because with the maps not being crazy hard yet, they have the roster to cover the vast majority of this pool. Although there may be question marks around hidden, I feel like Indonesia are in the same boat when it comes to those hidden maps. So I think for the most part, really, it's going to come down to ability on the day that decide how things go. So once the first couple maps come in, I imagine the teams will get a feel for what they want to go for, what they don't.
I think Indonesia definitely knows what they want to go for here. They went straight out with that double time, not deterred by Sweden's early qualifiers performance at all. So they're going to be confidently going in with DT. This is not too surprising for them. I think that with the lineup that Indonesia can put up with players like Ro and Skydiver and Vino, Rexius on a DT map is something to be feared. With a 4.35 million scoring qualifiers on DT1. That is one of the highest DT scores from a team in the entire qualifiers. And given some of the solo performances in DT from Indonesia, Sweden's going to have to pull out some really good combo and accuracy on this first map to hold themselves where they need to be. But this is Indonesia's first pick.
Yeah, those qualifier scores are promising. Both these teams got a 4.3 mil on a similar map that was slightly slower, but higher OD. So this promises to be a pretty high-scoring affair on this first map. But let's see. Here we go. The first round of 32 match for these two this year, looking to make it into the winners bracket round of 16. Let's see how these two up-and-coming teams can perform today.
So lineups perfectly set here. Reedcat, Felrion, Psycha, and Coach versus Vino, Ro, Skydiver, and Rexys. I imagine we'll be seeing very little variation in these lineups for all of the DTs here. I don't know if there's any other speed lineups that would be as strong as this for both teams. So if we see any future DTs, I imagine these will continue. Indonesia taking an early accuracy lead to be expected, especially on Skydiver's double S right now. That's going to be very helpful for them. Tournament client giving us the DT vibes here as it fixes itself. There we go.
Catch up eventually. It's settling down.
Yeah, it's just got to get ready for the speed. It's not, you know, it can't keep up with the players. It's too fast. So a rough start here for Team Sweden in terms of accuracy. Felrion and Reedcat keeping up really well with Indonesia, but Coach and Psycha kind of struggling on that accuracy quite a bit compared to everyone else in the lobby. The next lowest only being Vino, who is still higher than both of them. And Skydiver is kind of just saying this map is easy for me. There's not much to break on in these early sections here, unless you missed the early stream. As I say, that couch is going to be the first one on Team Sweden to miss. So Indonesia looking very confident on the open GT here.
Yep, slip on the burst there for Coach, but still 3 FCs to 4. Still quite competitive, but they are going to start to win away with this, Indonesia. The accuracy really telling a story, as you mentioned. There's a level of comfort I think Indonesia is showing over Sweden in general here, based on that accuracy.
Vino's shake is actually impressive right now. If you look at his cursor on those bursts, it is quite jittery. Maybe, you know, first time OWC shakes. I can definitely understand it. Yeah, he is. I'm not entirely sure what his aim style is, but that is a great deal of shake from Vino right now. Wow. Okay. Wow. Oh,
he hasn't missed though.
He has not missed, and I am actually impressed that he hasn't missed. What is this shake? Oh no, he misses on this first. That is a lot of shake on Vino, and Skydiver. Yeah, Skydiver can come in and just do this because. Oh no, he missed this on the first. Wait a second, Sweden can't come back, right? Sweden can't come back, right? There's not enough time.
They're gaining quickly, but that's a lot of score, man. I don't think so. No.
Oh, I don't think there's enough with these final bursts. This is so close. Oh my goodness, that was really close. Wow. That was I think we were so focused on Vino and Skydiver with those final ending breaks. I totally didn't even realize that was 2 misses for Indonesia and only 1 for Sweden. But the accuracy on Indonesia just, you know, that's what like accuracy can really carry you in there. Skydiver missing still puts up almost a million score at 99.47. Felrion and Reedcat doing very well for themselves on Sweden, and Psycha as well at 98%. But man, those shakes from Vino, those were crazy. I'm surprised they held for that long.
You gotta get the shakes out now. Get it out on the speed pick, just mash them away. 2 good scores though from 2 good teams. Over 4 mil each way is damn good, but Indonesia just had a bit too much, and straight into Hard Rock after that ban, really targeting that mod.
Yeah, that was a very close pick. I think, you know, Sweden definitely had that one in the bag. Unfortunately, Coach kind of missed the jump a little bit on some of those streams and the burst in the middle of the song there, and it was just the score loss that ended up making the big difference there for Sweden, especially with 2 players FCing on Indonesia to kind of match out Reedcat and Felrion in terms of accuracy. But some switches here on the Hard Rock for Team Sweden. We have Blue coming in for Psycha. No trades for Indonesia here. Oh no, Lifeline for Vino. So there is 1 substitution for each team.
Yep, Lifeline joining in. His first OWC, and a player a lot of people are talking about due to him having an extremely high rank, top 10 player, but making an early entrance here at the round 32.
I think a lot of teams have definitely opted to try out their newer players in these early rounds just to either test the waters, I think, with comfortability or with skill sets. And I think that definitely happens in a lot of countries where maybe not as known what that player's skill set is in a tournament setting. Lifeline not normally known for playing a ton of community tournaments. Until recently, he started to play a little bit more. So I think, like Canada yesterday, who put in a lot of their new players for a match, Indonesia, another team with a lot of, new blood coming into OWC here, has opted for letting their new players kind of come in and see what they can do here. Sweden, not as much to worry about. They have a kind of a tried and true lineup that hasn't changed too much, with the exception of missing Sonics this year, I think.
Yeah, no Sonics. A few new players. I think they're bringing 4 players back, so their core does return. Felrian is one of their new players, though. Playing his second map here. He does miss a stream.
Yeah, just a little bit of an under-aim there for him. But all of Indonesia looking comfortable right now. There goes Coach as well. Not going too well for Sweden on their first pick here. Coach actually shaking a little bit on this one. His nerves catching up to him. Like Binos did on the last pick here. The veteran, actually, as well. Coach is certainly not his first time in OWC. Meadcat's accuracy, by the way, is struggling a little bit. Just a little. Sub 96 there.
It's enough. It's enough act to get by. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, it's kind of like just enough. Rexy's kind of fallen down towards him, though, so it's certainly not out of the question, apparently. But
yeah, the accuracy is still pretty decent.
Yeah, Roe and Blue just kind of making everyone look silly here with the accuracy into the end, especially Roe holding it. There's not much you can do about this right now. You have the 2 early breaks. It's Reedcat and Blue breaks along with Rexy. Oh, goodness, that is Roe and Velvet as well.
That section claimed 3 FCs, but it's still 2 FCs to 1. Indonesia's still going to be taking this one home, and despite that Hard Rock 2 ban, turns out his Hard Rock 1 was not a problem for Indonesia. This is a very solid run by these guys. Really good scores across the board for the Indonesian team here.
Yeah, those were some good scores all the way until the end. I mean, you have to wonder if the Hard Rock 2 ban was just because of uncomfortability from Indonesia rather than thinking that Sweden could play it. But Reedcat, the only FC on Sweden, he had a lot to go up against.
His act recovered well, actually, Reedcat. Finishing on a 97% is a solid run for sure. It's joint highest on the FCs there. But yeah, 1 FC to 2 is really the big difference. Just a bit more for Indonesia here, and that pick backfiring because it's Indonesia's pick.
I mean, if you're Indonesia, I feel like you just continue with the DT here if you really want another pick, but I'm not entirely sure how they would be on a more awkward DT, I guess. It's less mechanics-based for the Grimoire of Alice, but I don't see Indonesia going for something like a hidden pick. I think they probably stick to either the DT or the mod pool. If they're feeling a little bit daring, maybe a free mod here, but with the lineup on Indonesia, I don't know if they hold enough hidden skill to want to go for that against Sweden, especially with players like Saika and Coach on the team, who kind of play a lot of hidden, especially Coach.
I wouldn't trust hidden. Indonesia didn't do terribly well in qualifiers, and with those names on the Swedish team, it's a risky one. I feel like Sweden would go for that if anyone would. Also, I should mention as well, actually, Lifeline FCing that previous map on his debut, so good start for Lifeline there.
Yeah, very good there. So a showing that you definitely like to see. I think I mentioned that the other night, but the new players in this tournament really kind of strutting their stuff on the beginning matches here. BS Power Explosion in Indonesia, so they are going to go for the free mod against Sweden. I guess this does make sense, kind of forcing Sweden onto things they might not be comfortable with here. But this map is not terribly difficult in terms of mechanics. However, it is pretty awkward, especially for those mod players. The Hard Rock player, most notably, Redcat gonna have some decent trouble in this one. And only 2 minutes and 18 seconds. That is short on any break. Crazy to see what mods they decide to go with here. I think Sweden is a little bit more set in terms of what mods they're going to run with here. If Sweden is taking the traditional route, Redcat, Hard Rock, Coach Hidden, and then no mod on Blue and Psycho?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. You'd want to keep the the comfortable mods on the players who find it comfortable. Coach, solid hidden player, and Redcat, yeah, he just FCs Hard Rock maps for fun at this level. So I don't know why you'd do anything else, really, because I feel like no mod would not be that much easier for those two.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I would, I guess, see a switch maybe would be if Psycho is feeling good on the Hard Rock and they wanted the guaranteed FC from Redcat on the no mod, which I guess wouldn't be out of the question, but given normal mod occurrences from both of these players in those tournaments, that's how it would probably roll. I imagine Skydiver is going to be the Hard Rock for Indonesia today. And then there is Row, so that's most likely they're hidden.
Those are pretty safe choices. Unless they really want to give Lifeline Hard Rock again, considering EFC the last one, but so did Skydiver, so either of those guys could. The Skydiver could take the no mod for the guaranteed FC, possibly. Scylla over there, looks like they're looking to swap in, Scylla in for Blue.
You know, it's hard to see, or predict what mods these players are going to take, especially on these early round matches here. The maps are just not hard enough, per se, to feel the need to force your best mod player to take that specific one. And I definitely think there's a lot more room for other players to be comfortable on certain things. So the hidden, lot over modding on Sweden.
Yeah, Scylla with that hidden as well. I imagine Coach is taking the hidden for comfort, but yeah, double hidden is an interesting one. Swapping in Scylla for this as well, so he must have really wanted to play this.
Yeah, really. It looks like you're right about the Lifeline Hard Rock, definitely giving him the chance to go up on that again, and Row understandably taking the hidden for Indonesia, or if I said hidden for Lifeline on the Hard Rock. But Redcat taking the Hard Rock as expected, holding double S on a lot of players here. Sweden's accuracy.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're ready for this one right here. This is, I don't know, maybe they were waiting for the free mod pick to come out. Maybe this is something they were considering, but at 2 minutes and 18 seconds, this accuracy lead is really going to help them early on here. Lifeline had a very early break on the first stream as well. It's not going to matter as much, but his lost accuracy. Oh, Couch.
Yeah, dropping the first stream there, Couch, on their hidden. Should mention as well, this is AR9 hidden, so hidden on this approach rate with streams is probably trickier than the Hard Rock by a small margin.
Yeah, I imagine. This is unfortunately not going the way Sweden wanted it to right now. There goes Seafood finally, though, so there is a chance. And that was right at halfway as well. So Seafood has a maximum potential 600k right now on this map. Whereas if Couch holds his FC until the ending, he could grab around 800k. And Sweden has already taken the lead back. Redcat dropped a little bit of accuracy there. He's down into 98% right now, but compared to Lifeline, the other Hard Rock, it is definitely superior in many ways, combo and accuracy. So he is taking Lifeline out right now. Scylla and Row dead matching for the hidden players right now. It's Psycha versus Skydiver, but Scylla breaks.
Scylla will break though. Advantage Indonesia here, 2 FCs to 3.
Oh, the lead is going to shift over right now. It's so close. There it goes. They need to see a big break from Indonesia right now if they want a chance to bring this into the ending of the map here. Coach is trying to do something about the fact that he has that combo lead over Seafood, but with no other breaks from Indonesia into the end, there's nothing, and Redcat finally misses a triple, and that is it.
Right at the end. He still gets 1,000,000 points though, Redcat, so job done for him, but just not enough. The 2 FCs, or almost 3 FCs, just Lifeline with that break as well at the end. Really unlucky, but it's another good run by him, and a great run by Indonesia.
Yeah, that was a good pick for them. It looked pretty grim in the middle section of the map there with Seafood and Coach just offsetting each other. Coach with 0 100s, by the way. You gotta feel bad
Yep.
about that.
Yeah,
That's hidden streams on AR9 right there.
that's what happens. You miss a note and you miss 5 of them, but you don't hit any of them, so you just sit there with your 0 100s, but you misses. So unlucky for Coach there. Actually, also Rowe as well with that hidden FC with very solid AC. That's what he's in the team for. And he's doing it again. So far so good here for Indonesia. This is a very good start in a game that we expected to be close. So perfect start here for Indonesia.
Indonesia having a very good match today. They're looking very consistent all around. They're putting up the scores that they need to. You know, Sweden, I think they haven't been having the worst match ever, but I think, you know, when you're on a round of 32 match, any one break from a player makes so much of a difference when the other team is 4-way FCing for most of the map. You can't afford to have these little breaks on an early stage match, and I think, you know, a team like Sweden, they have a lot to live up to this year with their qualifiers placement, and dropping down into the losers bracket in the round of 32 is certainly not the way they want to go. But Indonesia looking to be very strong this year on these early round pools. But
Yeah, that's been a weakness of Indonesia in the past, actually, the early round pools. But this is showing that they've really stepped up in that regard, because this is impressive so far.
Indonesia kind of rounding it. So, no mod 3 from Team Sweden, opting in for the, I don't want to say it's alternating specifically, it's like gimmick alt, I guess?
Yeah, low BPM spaced stream with some 1.6, but definitely in that sort of stereotypical alternate map feel, because it's got a few awkward angles, but it's mostly linear bursts and linear streams at 146 BPM. So definitely on the more technical side, and this being a pick by Sweden, I think they do have a good roster for a map like this. I think it's a pretty decent pick into Indonesia.
You know, Sweden has generally been pretty good at these more unconventional styled maps, and Indonesia is definitely a team that I would say is favored towards mechanics, so it's a smart move from Team Sweden to kind of branch off from that and see if they can get themselves on the board, because, you know, in a round, in a best of 9 match, when it's first to 5 to win, you definitely need to get yourself on the board now when the other team has 3. Saika finding an early break, but Seafood is a little bit down on combo as well. Early sections here, nothing super difficult. Reedcat does find a miss aim.
Yeah, early miss there by Reedcat, and a very early one by Saika. So disadvantage Indonesia in these first bursts. This map's quite short as well, so these early misses are really going to sting.
It's not much, you know, normally I'd say there's not much to break on in these early sections, but I mean, it kind of is true. There's basically just alternating. It's like slow streams at the beginning here, and unless you kind of miss the acceleration or one of the transitions, it's very hard to break on the linear parts that kind of just flow around, and we saw that from Saika and Reedcat kind of just missing on the transitions between them. But Indonesia looking pretty comfortable on this one, Skydiver most notably, but I guess that's to be expected. This is something that, you know, Skydiver's kind of their all-around player. He is in for everything because he can do everything. And there goes Saika again. Sweden just really, you know, it's the one player drops from them.
What can you really do against, well, an almost 4-way FC? Also, notably, Lifeline, who just broke, has been single tapping the map the entire time.
Yeah, that is, you know, that's a speed player for you, I guess. Just BPM. That is going to be coming into a little bit of a rough loss here for Sweden. This was basically their opportunity to get themselves on the board, and a loss of, what, 560,000 on the score for them is definitely not what they were looking for.
This is an unexpected map result, actually. On paper, this is a good one for their roster, but you look at the miscounts, and the miscounts are low, and the accuracies are good. Unfortunate misses, and they was up against a roster here that did extremely well, like nearly 3 FCs. We'll let Seafood off for that early slider break, but that's an excellent run from Indonesia on a map that we didn't think would be too favored for them. This is really impressive from Indonesia. They're really showing up.
Yeah, this consistency from Indonesia is, something that I guess is to be expected with this new lineup. We haven't seen all of the players in Indonesia today. We haven't seen Seafood or Fuma. So they haven't had, or sorry, not Seafood. We haven't seen Walfred or Fuma yet. So we actually didn't even see Walfred in qualifiers. So we've yet to see an appearance from him in the entire tournament. Fuma was a big player for them in qualifiers and hasn't had to play this match yet. He played almost every map in qualifiers, so Indonesia kind of running with the same lineup for most things.
Yeah, it's a good point, that actually. Yeah, it is a surprise to not see Fuma yet. Maybe he's not available, or they simply don't need him right now, because they're doing perfectly fine with him on the bench right now. What's left, though, in terms of these picks? Of course, Indonesia with the opportunity to seal this out if they pick the right map. The last DT pick could be an opportunity, considering they've been winning on fairly handily on everything so far. But here comes Hidden 2, AR8 coming out of Indonesia.
That's surprising, actually. I did not foresee.
No, this is not an Indonesia pick, but I mean, the last one we didn't think was an Indonesia map, but this one, if you look at qualifier results, I'm not sure it's really much of a map for these guys, but they must be confident, and with this advantage, they can afford to get creative, I suppose.
Yeah, they're gonna really test the waters here, especially on Hidden 2. I would have given Indonesia a decent shot on Hidden 1, and I think, that would have been something I could have completely expected, but, Indonesia going for an AR8 this early, it must be that Walfred and Seafood are feeling pretty comfortable right now. I'd be surprised to not see Fuma and Seafood in, but Walfred gonna make his appearance for the Hidden map, unsurprisingly. Fuma, probably the best low AR player on Team Indonesia, but a good lineup for both of the teams here. I think that Sweden has the big carries for low AR hidden maps, but Indonesia, unfortunately for Sweden, also has their fair share of players that can kind of just run through this type of map.
Yeah, for sure. Sweden have the players for this, but if those sort of strong, low approach rate hidden players of Indonesia show up, and so far this team has been showing up, I wouldn't put it past them to nick this. Rowan Fuma should be very good at this. Fuma, though, coming in for his first map of this round. Let's see how his nerves are doing early on. A few early act drops by him, but to be expected.
Yeah, this beginning of this map with Scorby 2, oh gosh, there goes Fuma, Walfred, and Knots. So combos in the favor of Team Sweden now.
Low BPM AR8 streams can be unforgiving, especially at the start where you have to adjust to this style, and a few players just having a few wobbles there.
So we are going to wait and see what happens in the key eyes here. This is 1 minute and 59 seconds. There goes Rexy's as well, but there drops Coach. So Scylla and Saika versus Ro, and we'll add Fuma with that very early break, but the accuracy on Fuma not helping him. There goes Rexy's as well, so it's going to be Saika and Scylla really trying to run it for Sweden right now, and we might not be seeing the sweep today. As of right now, Sweden looking very comfortable on mid.
Nope, no sweep today, or at least so far. Still half the map to go, but the combos really looking good here for the Swedes. Scylla and Saika okay coming in with very solid runs so far. The accuracy is wobbling a bit, but just don't miss.
Yeah, this is going to come down to the combo in this last quarter here. We can see misses as we get into the later sections here, but it's still too early. There goes Scylla, but Knots is matching Fuma, so it's enough to keep Sweden in the lead right now. And there goes the only FC.
With row breaking, that's going to be it, surely. Looks like this one very nicely in Sweden's favor. The creative pick not necessarily working out too well here for Indonesia. No sweep today.
Yeah, that was, as expected, Sweden taking a little bit more comfortability on the AR8 hidden. I definitely think that Indonesia has the lineup for an AR8 hidden, but at this stage in the tournament, going up against a Sweden with some very confident hidden players, and if you look at Coach and Knots' 100 count, you can just, see from earlier we mentioned the accuracy is really telling on who is really comfortable here. Fuma, as I mentioned, probably one of their better AR8 hidden players, kind of dropped the accuracy ball quite a bit there, but his combo really held up, being the second highest score for his team there, but a B rank.
Combo gaming hard, man.
Yeah, really.
I said the scoreline there ain't too bad for Fuma, but yeah, the accuracy, I think he was hitting early a lot. He was overstreaming quite a bit. The low BPM can do that, especially on the low approach rate. But anyways, yeah, Sweden with the next pick. So now it's time for them to try and mount a comeback here that we know they can do. Certainly, they've had some good runs, but some consistency issues so far by Sweden. But we're quite far into the game now. People may have found their feet, and they need to if they want us to keep their noses in the winners bracket here.
They opt for the hidden again, so they're gonna take whatever just happened on that last hidden and hope that it continues into another one here. An interesting choice to immediately go for a hidden. I know we said that Sweden is normally very confident on hidden picks here, but running in with the AR9, it's a completely different story from that AR8 hidden, and I'm hoping that Sweden are picking this out of their own personal ability to play it and not just because of the results of that last map, because it's very easy to let your judgment get a little bit skewed when you are down on a match point where the other team is kind of ready to just take this home. But I guess Sweden is taking any opportunity they can get right now. Blue coming in for Knots, which is kind of surprising. Knots one of the better players for Sweden on that last hidden pick.
Yeah, interesting to see him not playing an AR9, which isn't too far from the tree of an AR8 pick. Still with that density in tone, with these 1-4 jumps, these cut streams, this is definitely not too dissimilar. But no, I guess Nort's making way for Blue here, who has been playing quite a few maps this match so far. Has had a fairly decent one so far.
Something to note from Team Sweden as well, they have gone through those DT picks, and we haven't seen Engross yet. An interesting thing to note, as he's probably one of Sweden's best mechanics-based players, so not seeing him for any pick thus far is very surprising, but I guess he's either missing or Sweden know what they're doing on this early stage and they didn't think that they would need him. But when you're going up against Indonesia, who, even Skydiver is playing this match. That is Indonesia's #1 player on the team by a decent amount in my mind. Skydiver is kind of like the face of Indonesia in terms of tournament skill here. So,
yeah, no doubt. He's had a very good match so far as well.
Yeah, he's really been playing well in these early stages. He's either highest accuracy or highest combo, and he's maintaining that at the beginning of the hidden here. Everyone dropping a little bit of accuracy, but Sweden gonna come out with Scylla at 99.46. Looking good for the accuracy for Sweden right now. 3 players at 99%, but Saika's accuracy is actually what's giving it over to Indonesia right now. The higher overall accuracy on Indonesia.
Yeah, just wobble at the start, just getting used to the style, I imagine. But his accuracy is increasing, so through this easier part. First chorus, though, still quite tight as some of the harder patterns start to kick in here.
This is going to come down to whoever's able to maintain through these first 3. Yeah, and there goes Skydiver. We just talked about him being one of the bigger players, but there goes Scylla as well.
Yep, they match it up.
2 big breaks at the beginning here. Skydiver probably, we predicted, you know, as one of the better players in Indonesia. Ro has actually been proving himself today. He's put up insanely high scores for everything. There goes Vino.
Yeah, on those jumps, easier part here as well. A few little cut streams you got to be careful of. Oh god, there go 2 Sweden players. Oh, they're all gone. Sweden is gone in terms of combo. All just disappeared.
That is unlucky. That is almost right at halfway as well. I'm not entirely sure what happened there to Sweden, but unfortunately, there goes Rexy, so there is technically a chance here, but Ro still holding that FC is quite literally going to be the only thing that Indonesia needs. Actually, they probably only need Skydiver's combo right now to hold them up here. They had the combo lead, and they're just going to maintain it now, and Ro is just going to take everything that he knows and run away with this right now. He's going to try and hit that 99% right here as well. He's going to do it.
Yeah, the last player you want to be against on a map like this with a full combo is Ro. This is something he knows extremely well, and I'd fully expect him to not blink in the face of carrying this home.
Yeah, Ro is just, he's so seasoned in this type of map and tournament level that, you know, the shakes are gone from him by this point. You see how steady his cursor is. He's ready. He knows these maps are easy early stage, and you know, his tournament performance lately is very indicative of what is happening right now, and Ro is just shutting Sweden out in this map here. Unfortunately, Blue and Saika, those slider breaks gonna hurt quite a bit into the later parts here. Sweden holding the combos, the accuracy on Coach and Scylla as well, and there goes Saika again. This is going to be well in the favor of Indonesia, unfortunately for them. Ro just running home.
Yep. End it in style. Wrap it up with a fat score. Nice recovering combos as well on everyone from Indonesia. So all in all, the picking into the hidden to try and pull something back, not working out. No FC by Ro though, but it's still a 900k score. It's a very solid run by him. And that's going to be it. Big win for Indonesia, who will take down Sweden and go into the winners bracket round of 16 with a very nice team run here.
So, you know, Indonesia just looking super strong today. Their consistency was there, and you mentioned it a lot, but Sweden not even necessarily playing an awful match today, but when you're going up against a team with such high early round consistency and the ability to get those 3- and 4-way FCs on these maps, or high scores for that matter, just really makes it difficult when you have 1 or 2 players that are breaking during the map. And you know, in these early rounds with the maps that are not as hard, it happens all too often. But Indonesia going to be the winners of this match, 5-1 over Sweden in this round of 32. They will be continuing to the winners bracket round of 16. Sweden will now have to fight their way through the losers bracket.
Yeah, hugely impressive from Indonesia. Like I say, the issue they've had in the last few years has been early game consistency and managing these easier pools. They couldn't get their super players to the later stages. They did better last year, but this was a thoroughly solid run by them. And they're going to be very happy with this result, because Sweden definitely one of the informed teams in terms of their up-and-coming player roster. But today, that was pretty decisive from Indonesia.
Yeah, they were just looking so strong overall today. There wasn't really much that Sweden could do unless they started to pull out, you know, the ridiculously high combos, and maybe they were saving their confident picks for the ending. But, you know, Sweden, I think they gave a lot of what they could give for today, but a lot of players definitely not at their peak today. And I think missing Andros was a big thing for Sweden. They probably could have gone for a couple more of the mechanics picks there. I think a Reedcat Andros pair on something like a Nomad 2 would be something to be a little bit afraid of there. But into the end, it was all Indonesia's match to run with there. And, you know, if you're Sweden, you can't do much about it.